Howdy, I'm Andrea Askins, and I'm a Master's of Human Resources Development major expected to graduate in May of 2022. I was very excited to be able to take the time today to reflect on myself. I spent the majority of my career focused on the career development of others, and I was truly refreshed to take some time to discuss my past, my current journey as an MHRD student, and my future goals. This video will start with my background, then review my overall learnings of the program, and close with a review of my future goals. A little bit about my background. I'm a second-generation American, the granddaughter of immigrants. Both my parents were born here in the United States, but both of their parents moved from Mexico at a very young age. They were cotton farmers with no education. My grandparents were. My grandmother only graduated up into the 7th grade, and my grandfather did not have any traditional schooling on both sides. I was very fortunate to have parents who valued education, and I know that's not the case necessarily for a lot of individuals who come from immigrant families. I'm very proud of that heritage. I'm very proud of the opportunities that my parents gave me. Again, I was a first-generation college student. I graduated high school in 2001. My parents did make a lot of sacrifices to send me to private school. And I am very fortunate to have parents that sought out scholarships for me to attend private school growing up. It was at that private school that I actually met my husband, and I am truly thankful for being able to attend school in Fort Worth. And I graduated from high school in 2001, which seems like such a long time ago. And at that time, I had decided to attend Texas A&M University for undergrad. And that was in 2001 that I started there. And I really enjoyed it, but felt like I was not prepared for a university journey. And unfortunately, I did not perform as well in college as what I had in high school. And my parents were very disappointed, and I was disappointed in myself. And so I attended junior college in 2002 and decided after that, school wasn't for me. And I was going to work and work and work. And so I took some opportunities in retail where I was a store manager and eventually became a district manager. And I worked my way up through the chain, and at one point I was overseeing 28 locations across an 8-state area. So I excelled in that setting, and I really loved all the knowledge that I gained from my retail background. But in 2012, I decided that I needed to go back and finish my education. I started in 2010, and I started taking just a couple classes here and there to get myself back into the game, as I say. And then I worked I worked full time at the same time. And then in 2012, I decided I was going to buckle down and just finish. And I was taking 14 to 15 hours just to finish my degree. And it was in 2012 that I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to complete a bachelor's degree. So I got my associates, worked a couple more years, and got into HR. When I got into HR in 2014, that's when I was inspired to get my degree, my bachelor's. I, again, was a non-traditional student. I worked full-time. I had my husband's support. And I really focused on trying to maintain that balance between a full-time job that traveled both internationally and across the states, but also have a family life and complete my degree. It was quite a challenge. And while I know I was busy, and I have been busy since then, I know that it was all 100% worth it. I was able to get my bachelor's in general studies in 2020. And I completed the program in 2.5 years through Lamar University. And I was really excited to be able to do that. But the one thing that I felt like I was missing in my journey, and also probably the one thing that I regret the most, was not completing my education at Texas A&M. I never stopped being an Aggie. just like my dad, who didn't go to college but was an Aggie. He was a huge fan of the school and was very passionate about me attending when I was in high school. And I came across a program, the Masters of EHRD, during my senior year at Lamar. And I remember talking to my dad, and my dad said, just go for it. He said, that's something that you wanted, something that you wish you would have completed, and wish you would have that ring on your finger. So I decided to apply, got in, and the rest is history. I'm really excited to complete the program. But this portfolio would not be complete without a thank you to my dad. My dad truly inspired me to come to school at Texas A&M, and without him, I would not feel the way that I do now and be completing this program. Unfortunately, he passed in November of 2020 and 2021, and will not see me graduate, but I know he's looking down on me. I want to next go into the overall learnings. I have three major learnings. One was the foundations, where I learned about the history of human resources development. Even though I had been in the field for years, I really did not have a knowledge of how the theories or what theories existed based on what I had learned and experienced. So I learned a lot from writing memos to doing case studies, particularly the fundamentals of human resources development class with Dr. Dooley, and learning about the change process theory, which explains the three stages of change process, which is unfreezing, changing, and rephrasing. I've seen that throughout my career, but it really wasn't until then that I put the pieces together to theories. Secondly, the learning that I had with the training development program, particularly the class at Adult Learning at EHRD 630 with Dr. Rumel. I found the personal learning audit a journey. And while I'm still taking that class, have been really able to reflect closely on where I was 2 years ago to where I am now. And so through that learning audit, I have learned some really great things that I'm going to take with me through the next levels of my career and my next journey. And also some things that I'm going to do differently based on how adults learn. So that class was really impactful to me in my experience in career coaching and then also training and development. Lastly, the change management program is the last thing that I learned. I felt like I didn't know a whole lot about change management. So I was able to learn information from project management to all the theories in change management. I learned best practices and how to institute that in my job from day to day. But also, as I mentioned earlier, how those theories are in practice at my job. In EHRD 614, Strategic Planning with Dr. Byerlin, I completed my personal strategic career plan, and this was also helpful in outlining my future goals and really seeing where I want to go and how I'm going to utilize those goals and the learnings that I've had to reach them. I think at time I knew what my end goal was, but I never was quite sure what that pathway was and what the strategic plan was in order to meet those goals. So transitioning to my future goals, I have a lot of goals. First and foremost, I want to continue to be a rock in my family and take care of my family. But with that, comes with climbing the corporate ladder. I want to continue to move forward. Right now, I'm in talent acquisition and I'm in management, I'm in leadership, and I want to continue to move forward next with a manager role, and not an assistant manager title, but a manager role, and then go into a director role, and then eventually to vice president. So I want to climb that ladder to move me forward. I also, within that journey, want to continue my education. I have been inspired to obtain my doctorate, and not for anybody's benefit but my own. And so I hope to next year to obtain my doctorate to start my doctoral program at Baylor in their organizational leadership program. So I really hope you enjoy reviewing my profile, and I thank you all for hearing me today. Thank you.